Is my country sliding into recession? Is Great Britain no longer great? The UK's economy is shrinking. And the latest economic data does not look good. Going through everyday news is already colder than looking at the weather. So let's explore this, but before we dig in, to my new viewers, hi, my name's Kevin Shaw, your friend and a full-time caregiver. So apparently the UK's GDP, or gross domestic product, has contracted by 0.1%. In other words, our economy has shrunk. This was the case between July and September, and during this quarter we experienced negative growth. The prior quarter, from April to June, we saw zero growth. Now technically, a recession is defined as 2 successive quarters of negative growth. We've had zero growth, and then we've had negative growth. If this quarter is equally as bad, we will officially be in a recession. Personally, I already feel like we're there. There's no growth, there's fewer jobs, poor increments and high costs. In October 2023, wages in the UK grew by 7.3%, which at first glance looks like a good figure until you consider inflation. And then the real wage growth is just 1.4%. This means that even if salaries grew, we're not really going to feel it in our pockets, and it hardly reflects in our bank balances. And the other indicators aren't looking good either. In March of 2023, around 10 million Britons were jobless, which is about 25% of the working population. Rail fares are also on the rise, with ticket prices increasing by almost 5% effective next year, 2024. Or next month, depending on how you look at it, as we're in December. Just like my cat Blitzen, the economy looks gloomy at this point. Now, give him his due. Our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, seems to be the only person who can see a silver lining. He recently said, "Believe me when I say this, this is the best country in the world to invest and do business because of our competitive tax system, our culture of innovation, and our people."
So when I say that this country can be the best place in the world to invest and to do business, you should believe me, and believe me because of 3 big competitive advantages that we have. Our low tax approach, our culture of innovation, and our people.
He made this statement at a summit hosting more than 200 CEOs, but did they buy into his sales pitch? It seems there were a few takers, but arguably not enough to alter the popular assessment. So this is quite a fall for a country that was once an economic superpower and a powerhouse. We used to be an empire. Now, last year someone described the UK as one of the poorest countries in Western Europe. Why do you think this assessment was made? Our national debt is at an all-time high. More than 100% of our GDP, and our labour force is not as productive. We lag behind countries like France, Germany, Sweden, and even the United States. Former Prime Minister Liz Truss once called British workers lazy. Today, 2 million people in the UK go without food for at least 1 day a month. 1 in 3 children live in poverty. If we remove London from the equation, our country, this great country of ours, is as poor as Mississippi, the poorest state in America. But let's not just rely on statistics and statements. Let's ask a more fundamental question. How should we gauge the strength of great nations? What differentiates the good from the great? It's their crisis management skills, among other things, their ability to survive a crisis. Can we do it alone, or do we need help from others to sail through? Will we be able to survive this economic crisis on our own? Personally, I have my doubts. Back in 2016, Mark Carney, the then governor of the Bank of England, expressed his fear that Brexit would leave the UK relying on the kindness of strangers. He was hinting at debt relief, and his statement speaks volumes about the challenges facing our once Great Britain. So what are your thoughts? Let's talk in the comments, friends. Do you have any suggestions for our government? How can we improve things? I'm eager to hear what you've got to say and what your take is on this. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a rather productive next quarter. Take care.